Fear. What about fear?
That is fearlessness.
No fear. Simple, light, straightforward. No thought that something can go wrong.
Is there something like karma?
Like?
Karma.
Obviously, if you toss a ball, it will come down. That is karma. Cause and effect. In the world of material, there is always cause and effect. That is the law of karma. It is nothing but the law of material. If you throw something, it will move forward. Every cause will have an effect. That is the law of karma. But that law does not apply to conscious beings. So you are affected by the law of karma only as long as you are unconscious. The more you are aware, the more you realize, the more you become free of all karma. That is freedom from karma.
In Gurgaon, there is one line, one who sees activity in inactivity and inactivity in activity. So what it means?
Karmin, akarmin, akarmin, karma. Not only Krishna, Lao Tzu has talked about it. Effortless action, movie. It means that you are at the center of everything. The center should never move, and all the movement should be on the periphery, the circumference. So inaction at the center and deep and vigorous action on the periphery. And the two are related. If the center starts moving, then the system will collapse. Think of a fan. For the blades to rotate rapidly, the center must be firm and constant in action. For action to happen, inaction is needed. For action to happen, inaction is needed. So that you can live well in the world. The world is the world of action. Everything is moving here. Action means movement, time. The world is the seat of action. To live well in the world, you must be very, very inactive within.
It's calmness.
No movement. Complete stillness. Only when you are still within can there be good action outside. This is action in inaction, inaction and inaction in action.
So what is fear of failure?
Fear of failure is actually the fear that I stand to gain something from success, that I am dependent on this or that. You have a target, you want to gain something from there, right? It's related to your question. You have a target, you want to gain something from that. Your basic assumption is there is something missing that can be gained by achieving that target. So fear of failure is actually the fear of incompletion. The fear that the world can supply something that I do not inherently have. Fear of failure, ambition for success, are they different? Are they different? But you target success without knowing that with the ambition of success necessarily comes the fear of failure. Anybody who is going for success, targeting success, will always spend his life in fear.
Sir, is success is the only limitation of human life that we achieve? What we pretend the success to be? Actually, we won't know, but what the society and the influence, what becomes that this is what is success? Is it that only success or anything beyond that?
Success is something that makes you feel good, right? And if success is really success, then it should stop your chase for success. Because chase means I am not feeling good, that's why I am chasing. If you are feeling good, already good, then will you chase something? What does chase mean? Not feeling good. So success is success, worthwhile, only when if it stops the chase. Have you ever seen any success that stops the chase? We are talking of something beyond success. I am questioning success itself. You are probably talking of a bigger success. I am asking whether even the smaller success is worth it. You have been chasing and chasing, and are you chasing less today than you were chasing 5 years back? 5 years back you were chasing, were you not?
Yes, sir.
Today again you are chasing.
Yes.
Tomorrow?
किसी और चीज़ से।
Chase will continue. So what is the point of such success in which the chase always continues? Even till your last breath, will your chase stop? Have you ever seen a dying man who says, stopped?
But sir, if you're not supposed to chase anything, then what you're supposed to do is
What does the grass do?
just go.
Hmm?
It grows.
Then
If we cut off, then we cut off, but it will not. It will just grow.
what does the sky do? What does the river do? The clouds do?
Flow.
What do they do?
But sir, we have to do something. They're supposed to do something. That's why they're in the
What do you mean by supposed to?
supposed to.
Were you born crying that I am supposed to do something?
Then what's the point of this whole world?
What's the point? Need there be a point? Who told you that there ought to be a point? Who told you that there must be a point for something? This is the language of the businessman, do you know? That there must be some profit in something. By point you mean some kind of profit.
Not all, but there's supposed to be some reason why this world is there.
Yeah, reason is profit. When you say that I am doing this for this reason, you mean I'll get this from this. Reason means profit.
Someone has to get something from this world.
One has to get something from this world. Now, who taught you that this world is there so that some profit or something may be there?
This world.
Huh?
This world.
This people, they themselves have come and told you.
Then it doesn't make sense. All these things doesn't make sense.
Obviously nothing makes sense. It's a mad world.
It's just there.
It's just there. And we have made it into what it is not meant to be.
But sir, like in Bhagavad Gita, they always say you have to do some karam. You have to do. So then, what we are supposed to do? We can't lie.
What does the river do?
It just flows.
Is the karma not happening?
Karma is happening, sir. But in human, that is different, sir. What am I supposed to do?
Nothing. What are we doing right now? Why is just being so difficult? And why do you think that in just being there would be no action? What is so difficult about just being and not trying to become something?
So there's no problem, but
Yeah, that is right. That is the problem you are facing.
that's all.
What will the others say?
No. that's
Obviously. The others will not speak from outside. They'll speak from inside.
not- No, that's not the thing. So what?
They are already speaking from inside. Whose voice are you talking in? Is it not the voice that you have internalized from outside? The others are speaking.
now you
So, so you're saying this, I should be just here. Just be here.
And that does not mean that you have to keep sitting on this chair.
So,
Just here does not mean that action is prohibited. It means action need not have a profit motive. It means that there can be action without reason. And that is the most beautiful action. Action without reason. Like in love. Action without reason. You see a small child and you just give your shirt to the child. What profit? Is action happening or not? Explain the purpose, the reason, the why.
We want to have this feeling of giving away everything. We want to make ourselves.
Then there will be problem. If that it is for that feeling, then you will take back the shirt if the child starts abusing you. Because you wanted to have a good feeling about yourself and instead the child started abusing you.
Not about the child, but by ourselves. We feel like.
Then you will not do this if you see a child of some other religion or caste or some other violating some other tenet of conditioning that you have. When I gave that example, I meant something that has absolutely no reason.
so
Absolutely no reason.
you're saying if I just be here, I'll just be, the actions will automatically happen.
Yes, very well captured. That's
intuition, sir.
not intuition.
So
That's something
why,
else.
So that's why you're saying that if we are still from the center, the actions automatically are happening around us.
Yes, yes. Well related. Well related.
But say, when I don't get this, for example, in Bhagavad Gita, the Krishna says that to Arjun, you must fight.
You must fight.
You must fight.
कर्मण्यवादिनो
But sir, then I don't know, sir, Arjun will be able to fight with that intensity if he doesn't have any target.
Double the intensity.
If we just be here and
Yes. You don't know any intensity. Your intensity is proportional only to the greed that you have towards the target. Have you noticed that? If the target is big, your intensity is
more threshold.
when you work without a target, then the intensity is just right.
But sir, then the work will come. It's definite that the work will come. If I just be here,
Not the same work. Not the same work that you want to do with targets because it's coming from a different quality of mind.
my mind will do the work.
Things happen.
Yeah, things will happen.
So the magic will happen.
Yes, it is magical. It is magical.
So, then sir, what about a student, sir?
What is true?
So what about student?
What am I saying?
If I just be here, then
What are you doing right now?
doing my math.
No, you're just being here.
Yeah, right now I'm being here, sir.
That's enough. You're a student. And learning is happening.
I
You're
know.
just being here.
I'm sorry. Sir, but it will sound a little stupid, sir, but if I just be here and my majors are coming, next week my majors are there, automatically will start preparing for majors. I mean, I can't get this thing, sir. Well, we are right now in the world where targets.
Come to see. Had you really been there in the classrooms?
Yes.
Had you really been there in the classroom, would you have been thinking of the majors right now?
No, sir. No, sir.
Why do you need to think of the majors? Because you have never really been here. And then things happen. You are there, things will happen. And then you don't need to think of the exams. Things will happen.
If I just be here, obviously I will learn automatically, and then what's the point of majors?
What's the point of majors? What's the point of targets? Why do you need a purpose? Go there, be there, and that's it. Your presence is sufficient. You will automatically do the right thing by just being.
By living present.
And Krishna has said nothing more or less than this.
So while choosing any of the career, our future, right, what we think that, like after doing an evaluation, we think about giving us some papers to be in, to go for a government job, to go for a corporate life, anything like that. So what should is those things attract us, and we are going to get that. That's why we are doing this. So what should
Are they
we-
attracting you right now? When do they attract you?
When I think,
Do you have the space to think right now?
no sir. So
The
like,
more you are absent, the more you will be wandering in the future.
so like
Anybody here who is thinking of a government job right now?
no, sir. So like when we play football, then we don't think whether it will go or
But
not.
you will
But
think
we
of
play
the job when you are being scolded, let's say, by teachers or at home, and you are constantly being reminded that what will you be doing 3 years from today? Then you will think, because now fear has,
If nobody asks us, even then we think.
you have internalized it subtly. For example, you look at a hoarding, and the hoarding is shouting, for your great future, invest in this plan. Some financial instrument. Now that hoarding is transporting you to the future.
It's inducing fear.
It's inducing fear.
जब आप बुक्स लेकर पढ़ने बैठे फ्यूचर की करियर के लिए उस टाइम पे क्या किया?
So because sir, does that question need to be answered? Won't you know? You see, we are so afraid that we are constantly seeking consolation. We need somebody to keep supporting us, to keep consoling us by telling us, no, don't worry, the future will be good. And if we don't get anybody else, then we cry on our own shoulders. Will everything be okay? Have you seen people who are very afraid? They are constantly asking this. And what are the others around them doing? They are telling them, no, don't worry, things will be alright, things will be alright. Things will be alright. The future will be alright. That happens when you are very afraid. And we are being kept in a perpetual state of fear by the systems around us. They are all the time, as you said, inducing fear in us. That is what the systems do. Induce fear, sometimes knowingly, sometimes unknowingly. The child is made afraid, then the young man is made afraid, then the husband is made afraid, then the father is made afraid. Fear is the engine of this world.
So basically influences are causing all these kind of things. So sir, how can I make a wall around this so that no influence affect me? I mean influence, sir, I can't control every time. That's it. How is it possible?
You see, I can say this, that, or whatever to you. But if you already know the truth, if you are already seated there, firmly stationed, then you will have no space for what I am telling to you. Have you seen abandoned houses? Anybody can come and sit there or sleep there or even deficit there. Dirty it or even break it and go away. Why does that become possible? Because the house is empty, abandoned. There is nobody there. Similarly, when the mind does not have the truth, then influences come and occupy that position. Very faithfully, you have to let the one truth rule your mind. And that is your armor. That is the wall that you are talking of. Your defense against all kinds of diseases. But in the beginning of the conversation, he said, like magic. We don't have faith. We don't have faith in magic. We are suspicious, very rational people. So that seat of truth is vacant. Because the truth can be seated there only in faith. Not to live in faith, to refute magic, is to live in suffering. The one who has nothing to do with magic will live a very terrified life.
Boring life. A boring life.
Very good.
Fearful.
Very good. Yes. You must know. You must know. Your heart must be full of faith. And then the world can have no influence upon you. That is your armor. Everything else must be secondary to you. That is the first thing to which you should give primary importance. But we have given primary importance to so many other things. Money, career, this and that, relationships, men, women, reputation, prestige. The result of that is this.
Sir, one thing I asked you about how to choose a career, like after this graduation, if anything is not attracting me, that you should go this way, I should go that way. So what will lead to a correct action from me? What should I do?
Nothing. Nothing. All roads emerge from where you are standing right now. Be very clear about where you are standing, and you will see the right road. In fact, the right road will see you and will call you and you will go there. You don't need to choose. You just need to open your eyes, stay attentive, and not be shaken by the world. You don't need to determine in advance. You don't really need to go out and choose. Things happen from nowhere. You will not know from where it is happening. Things happen. They are already happening. You would have had lunch a couple of hours back, right? Do you know how it is being digested? If food can be digested, if your body can be built without your knowledge, why can't a career be built without your knowledge?
So in class we learned that man told, as soon as you move towards your existence move toward you.
Wonderful, yes, obviously.
So things will happen. We have to just stay.
And the most beautiful things happen that way. Without your planning, without your doership, they just happen.
So is there anything called luck?
Everything is luck. Obviously there is luck. is luck. You can call it good, bad, whatever. But there is luck. The question is, to live subject to luck is just like living subject to influences. Both are external, right? Influences come from outside, and destiny too is not determined by you. You didn't decide when to be born, how to be born. You don't decide whether a truck will come and hit you. So luck is there, obviously luck is there. But do we want to live dependent on luck? The man who lives a life of reasons will be always dependent on luck, because luck is reasons.
You will think what will happen, how it will happen.
That is all destiny, the network of cause and effect. So luck is there, but never forget that something far bigger and far more important than luck is available to you. It overrides all luck. It supersedes. Luck cannot do anything. You might be born in the poorest of families, yet you may shine like a diamond. Luck is gone. Luck is superseded. That is what is captured in those very famous lines, Jaako Rakhe Saiya. Baal na baaka kar sake jo jag bheri hoye. Your bad luck that the entire world is against you. Bad luck, very bad luck. But there is something else that is with you, and you are the winner. So in spite of such bad luck, you are still the winner. Baal na baaka kar sake jo jag bheri hoye. The entire world is an enemy, and yet I am the winner.
So it's like something bigger than us is helping us.
Something bigger than you and something bigger than luck.
What that?
It is not very different from you. It is not very far away from you. But you have to have, I return to that word, faith in it. The password is FAITH. It's like having the best of the gadgets with you without knowing the password. What use is the best of the gadgets if you don't know the password? Will you remember this 5-letter word beginning with F? You know enough of 4-letter words, right? Let's have a 5-letter word beginning with F. Yes, Prashant? FAITH.
Sir, whatever we do every day, the regular, we come to college, attend the classes. So these things are being done by us, or means we are doing this work, or any external force is telling us to do this work.
This tube light is shining. Work is happening and you can measure that work. You can either see how much current is flowing into it and do the calculations, or you can see how much light is emanating from it and do the calculations. So that is our life. What does this tube light know? What does it understand? Under these lights, I have conducted dozens of Samvaad sessions. What does it know? Does it know anything? Does it know the fact? Can it go beyond the fact into the truth? Same is our life. There are so many tube lights who come and attend the session. They do not understand anything. They sit in this hall like these lights sit, and yet they don't understand anything. That is our life, mechanical, programmed. Like an instrument, knowing nothing, and yet operating. Like that wristwatch. See, it knows time.
So they are an instrument of God.
No, you are an instrument of instruments. God never produces instruments. God only produces God. Or if you want to be more specific, God produces godliness. भगवान से भगवत्ता ही निकलती है, कुछ और नहीं निकल सकता. How can the cleanest give rise to the dirty? Can it? So from God only godliness can come. This rubbish comes from man's mind. It doesn't come from God.
This mind
God gave this mind all the freedom because the nature of God is freedom itself.
Yes.
So God gave your mind all the freedom. God said, fine, you can either live in godliness or you can wallow in all rubbish and dirt. Your wish.
Why did he give us this choice?
Because choice is his nature, freedom is his nature. God means absolute freedom,
God has no boundary.
no boundary. So when something is coming from absolute freedom, that thing too has freedom. So you have the freedom. And this is the way you are using your freedom. You are sitting here in this session, right? It is out of a choice. You had a freedom. A freedom was given to you. Go to the Samvaad or don't go to the Samvaad. You made a choice. This is a very good example. And others have made another choice. So, God loves you so much that He has left you with lots of freedom. Now, what you do with that freedom determines your life. No foundations. He has given you all the freedom. He has even given you the freedom to abuse God. Don't you see people abusing God? So He has given you so much freedom. You can abuse God. But what will happen is upon you to suffer. That is called the law of karma.
Yes.
Cause and effect. Simple. Law of karma. जैसी करनी वैसी करनी. Simple. Cause and effect.
There is no destiny.
This is destiny. What you do, you will get. You toss a ball, the ball will come down.
That part is the destiny.
It is the destiny part.
The destiny is always moving. It is not
Yes,
constant.
of course. The only thing is, here we are taking an example in which you are tossing the ball and the ball is coming down to your own hand. So here there is the element of personal knowledge involved. I tossed the ball and the ball came to my hand. But it is also possible that somebody behind you tosses the ball and the ball lands on your head. That too is destiny. But that is destiny without personal knowledge. I don't even know what is going to happen to me. Somebody else is tossing a ball and hitting my head. But still, remember that is cause and effect. If a ball hits your head, it means somebody else tossed it. If a truck hits you, it means the truck driver is drunk. And why is the truck driver drunk? There is another cause, and then there is another cause, and there is another cause, and there is another cause.
You
So
do not know, but
you may not know. And if you investigate, you can also know. To an extent at least, you can know. You can launch an inquiry and you will come to know the cause of the accident. So, the entire universe is a network of cause and effect. A few things are known to you, but most of it is unknown to you.
So then the freedom part is only with me.
That's wonderful, very well said, yes.
So in way everything is written.
Everything outside of you.
Yeah, outside of me everything is written. The only thing I can control is me.
But that is all that you have. What else do you want to control? What else do you want to control?
That's why you're saying that I be here and I have complete faith. Then no matter how many things happen to me, the point will come.
Ultimately, you are bothered with how you feel about those things. Right? A ball hits your head. Ultimately, the question is, how do you react to it? What do you feel about the ball hitting your head? Does that depend on the ball?
Depend upon
And that is why you have all the power in the universe.
So in life we make many choices. So there is a statement जो होता है अच्छे के लिए होता है. Is it true?
It depends on whether you realize it. It cannot be a statement made in desperation. You have heard the story of the fox, right? The story of the sour grapes, angur khatte hain. That first of all you try for something and when you don't get it, then you say, "Jo hota hai अच्छे के लिए होता है, कोई बात नहीं है." Just to hide your frustration. It's a realization, and it doesn't say जो होता है अच्छे के लिए होता है, that all is well, whatever is happening is the best and all that. It says whatever is just there and there is no option. So I will not even ask the question of अच्छा and बुरा. It is there. It is there. Is there an alternative? Is there a choice? So what do I mean by अच्छा and बुरा? Where is the choice? Where is the choice? This is it, and if this is it, let me be better present to it. Why should I be swinging here and there in imaginations and comparing it to the non-existent? This is it. So don't console yourself by saying that all this is happening for the good. All this is happening. This much is sufficient. For the good, remove that part, redundant.
We have a choice.
You are fooling yourself into thinking as if there is a choice. There is no choice in the happening. The choice lies only in your response. And the response again has only two choices. A response of awareness versus a response of conditioning. Only two choices are there. Either you can respond in your most aware state, or you can respond like a machine in a conditioned state.
So I have a question. So what is Niti?
Niti means that when I start opening my eyes, I start realizing that things are not what they appeared to be. Na iti, not this. And then I cry out in realization and in excitement. Oh, it is not the way I thought it to be. Things are not what they seemed like. That is Niti. And anyone who ever opens his eyes always says Niti. Oh, this is fresh, this is new, this is not what I was assuming it to be. And nothing is what I assumed it to be. The entire world is a substance very different from its appearance. That is Niti.
We cannot catch a diamond in a hand is dirty.
Lovely.
So there is one statement that when you want something, all universe conspires in your favor.
Law of attraction.
It is rather the law of conditioning. There is nothing in this. There is nothing of value in this statement. You cannot read out this statement and the statements of Krishna in the Bhagavad Gita in the same breath. These are at two very different levels. They should not be spoken of together. What is this so-called law of attraction? What it means is, suppose you are fat and you are obsessed towards a girl. Because you are obsessed and because you know what girls like, what will you do? You'll start going to the gym. So after a few months, what do you get? A lean physique. And because girls like lean physique, that girl will start feeling attracted towards you. So you were attracted towards a girl, then you automatically did a few things that made the girl attracted towards you. What's the big deal? That we anyway know, it's the law of conditioning. Never think that the universe wants to fulfill your desires. No, the universe doesn't want to fulfill your desires. The universe has nothing to do with your desires. In fact, in desires, you can never know what the universe is. Because a desired mind is a confused mind. A desired mind is a mind that is asleep. A desirous mind. A mind full of desires, a desirous mind, will never know what the universe is. So what does it mean by saying that the universe will conspire or the universe will come together to grant me my wish? These are all very superficial statements.
Should planning be done or not?
Go ahead, as long as you are dealing with the world, plan, why not?
Sir,
Don't take it seriously.
If I make a plan for tomorrow and if all that goes well, is that just a coincidence or it really makes
What do you mean by goes well? All
I planned.
Wellness is within. How can the plan go well? Are you not getting it? The plan may fail and yet you are feeling very well. So what do you mean by all went well?
Sir, as I thought that would go.
Everything can go as per your thoughts and yet you may find yourself feeling miserable. Everything can go exactly as per your plan and yet you are feeling miserable. So what do you mean by well? Wellness is here, not there. But yes, as long as the matters of the world are concerned, go ahead. Don't take planning too seriously. But don't expect that planning can give you anything. The most important is not a product of planning. It just comes. Can magic be planned?
No, sir.
Just
It will not be a
happens.
magic way.
Just happens.
So magic is anything that is unexplained to us. Which has no
Magic is
justification.
something that is unexplainable. If it is just unexplained, it is superstition. You take sodium to some totally uneducated tribesman and you put some water over it and the sodium, boom, explodes. To them it is magic. But that is not magic. Magic is that which is beyond explanation. No science, no logic, no reach of mind can ever explain it. That is magic. Magic is not the sleight of hand in which you produce sweets by waving your arm in the air. That is not magic.
So what is the difference between compromise and satisfaction?
All satisfaction is a compromise because you are never fully compromised or fully satisfied. So whenever you say I am satisfied, you are actually compromising. Are you ever fully satisfied? Absolutely satisfied.
So we can never be fully satisfied.
We can never be fully satisfied. Because satisfaction assumes that you are dissatisfied and you are trying to gain something through which you can be satisfied. It will never give you perfect satisfaction. You will always be feeling a little frustrated. a little unwell, a little short, deficient. So, all satisfaction is compromise. There is another thing called contentment. That is not a compromise.
What is that?
Contentment means I don't want anything.
सब कुछ मोह माया.
No.
That's
See, when you say this, Moh Maya, do you know what you mean? Do you understand what is Maya? Or is it just a clever way
Escape from
Something
to escape from understanding?
what we
Something I picked up from someone else.
Yeah, I just keep throwing around without understanding and without even having the intention to understand. What is Maya? Contentment is a feeling of fullness. Contentment is a feeling that I cannot be harmed, that I cannot gain much and I cannot lose much. Fundamentally, contentment is I am alright. That subtle, constant realization that I am alright. Things are alright. This is contentment.
how does this feeling comes?
By removing all the rubbish, you find that this feeling is already there. You only have to remove all the rubbish that you are carrying in your head. You discover that this feeling is already there. This feeling does not arise from anywhere. It is already there. You only have to give up your attachment to your notions. I have to achieve this, I have to rise to that level, I must have this much of money, everyone has a girlfriend, where is mine? Everyone is being respected, why is nobody caring for me? All these things. A good life is only when you have a job that pays you so much. A good life is only when you are riding a Mercedes by the age 40 or whatever, 25. There is no limit to ambition, so you can